Okay. Hey everybody, and welcome to our live stream. Today we are going to rank 30 of the most hated players in today's NHL. So as you can see here, we're using Tier Maker, but I'll be actually conducting this through the polls. So you will cast your vote as to which tier you think each player belongs in. Some of you had actually contributed the names of some of the players that we have featured here today, and I also went through Cap Friendly to look at rosters and kind of gauge who I think also should belong in this list. We have 30 players. Certainly I did leave out a few names, so feel free to shout those out. But yeah, ultimately this is the list that I came up with here with your help as well. So welcome, thank you for tuning in here. I'm Nick, for those of you who don't know. I'm also joined here by Cortana, my co-host. So say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from, what you think of today's Nazm Kadri signing. He, of course, has joined the Calgary Flames, hence the Flames hat here. So yeah, big day for the Calgary Flames fans out there, absolutely. Hey, what's up, Vanessa? Mean Girl, how you doing? By the way, I saw that there was an absolute jerk face replying to your comments. That person won't be giving you any crap anymore. I made sure to do something about that. But thanks for hopping in. Hey, how we doing, Matt? Hope you had a fantastic time at the happiest place on earth. Hope y'all are ready for this. This is, now, granted, y'all are terrific, right? But I'm curious to see how spicy things get here. I hope we can keep things pretty chill, right? But I know that there are going to be a lot of very enthusiastic and passionate viewers out there. Clothemu, well, I mean, we're only doing today's NHL players, right? But maybe y'all play your cards right. We could actually do this for, the NHL all time. That would be terrific. I think we should absolutely consider that, but that kind of depends on what you all think out here. I wouldn't say that exactly, Riley. I think that the hatred is directed more toward the management, not the actual players themselves, with the exception of one player who we will certainly have early on in our voting here. So thanks for hopping in here. Yeah, Matt Cook would have to be, I mean, in terms of like the NHL that I've watched since I've been alive, Matt Cook would easily be in the top 5. Absolutely. Did you try playing a card game while you were actually on the coaster now, Matt? That's the question. But yeah, glad you had a good time, man. You're getting to be quite the cardster, eh? All right, well, anyway, we'll get started in just a couple minutes here. I want to give folks an opportunity to join, and once we get 20 or 25 people here, that'd be fantastic. Then we can start the voting. Sports Geeks, hey, thanks for hopping in here. Yes, use your censor emoji as much as you want. Dale Hunter, yeah, if we did all-time, Dale Hunter would probably be, I think, at least in the top 10. Brad Marchand, oh yeah, you know it, Danelle. He is front and center here, so yeah, I mean, I'll be sure to call out the players because you might not be able to see them through the really small thumbnails down below. But we've got 30 players, and yeah, it's going to be a great stream, I think. Tom Wilson, absolutely. Yeah, Tom Wilson and Brad Marchand are toward the top of this list. Look at this. I mean, here, I'll just give you guys a preview. I'll just rattle off everybody's name that we're going to vote on tonight. So this is completely randomized, by the way. PK Subban, Jack Eichel, Cory Perry, Jacob Trouba, Jordan Binnington, Brady Tkachuk. One reason is because we've got Matthew Tkachuk, so you can't have one without the other. Marshawn, Pat Maroon, Alex Ovechkin, John Tavares, Phil Kessel, Nazm Kadri, Patrick Kane, Milan Lucic, Nikita Kucherov, David Perron, Tony DeAngelo, Drew Doughty, Tyler Seguin, Erik Karlsson, Mark Scheifele, Sid Crosby, Tom Wilson, Zack Cassian, Ryan Reeves, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Evander Kane, Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, and finishing things off, Brendan Lemieux. So there are our 30 players. Yeah, I didn't know Mean Girl Estetikinen was so hated. But I obviously didn't grow up watching hockey back then. Ken Linsman? Yeah, can't say I know anything about him as well. Edgar, thank you for joining us. The hatred for dislike for Subban. I mean, have you ever seen Alyssa Hope's video on all of PK Subban's slewfoots? That's the primary reason why I've got him in here. Yeah, and he's going to be, of course, the first guy that we vote on here. Hi, how we doing? How we doing, Cortana? You want to vote as well? Do you now? Yes, you're a very good girl today. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Accidentally bopped you on the nose there. Panda is on your poop list. Yeah, I consider Leonard as well. But I don't know if it's that the fans dislike him. I think it's almost like the league doesn't like him because he's actually vocal about things like injuries and surgeries and that sort of thing. I did think about him though. Marchand, I definitely among Sharks fans, but I didn't have enough. Like I thought about him, but didn't quite make that list because I don't think the rest of the fans hate. I don't think that like the NHL at large hates him. Fat Pat or Mac Weeks better not be on this list. Look, Maroon is right after Brad Marchand, so actually we might go pretty easy on him tonight. Yeah, a pest versus a rat. Yeah, there are definitely differences. I think that I remember seeing a video one time. Somebody said there's like an enforcer, there's a goon, and then there's a pest, and then a rat. I'm not entirely sure. The dislike for Leonard is universal. I'm not entirely sure I agree with that. But anyway, yeah, again, that was a name that I considered. There are some other players as well. I don't have my list handy with me, but I did have some other players. Like Tyler Myers, for example, was one of them. Who was another one? I don't know. I had a few out there. Tyler Bertuzzi was another one. But anyway, how are we doing? We got 13 people here. Fantastic. Well, 12. Let's just wait a couple more minutes and then we can get started. And I'm sure that more people will pile in here. So yeah, hope you're getting through the off season okay. Hey, we're what, like 7 weeks away from the opener, and I'm 7 weeks away, of course, from flying out to Czechia. By the way, guys, did y'all see the Czechs beat the Americans last night in the World Juniors? I want to give the Czechs a big congratulations. I don't know how to say that in Czech just yet, but I am learning Duolingo on my phone so I can mluvím česky dobry. So, big shout out. Big shout out to the Czechs for just holding down the fort, and their goaltender last night was absolutely tested and did a terrific job. So, congratulations to them. We'll see how they do against the Canadians. Good thing they have a day of rest here. And, of course, we've got the gift that keeps on giving, Sweden versus Finland. So, they're going to clash tomorrow as well. The entire Stars. Paige, hey, thanks for hopping in here. All right. You know what, guys? Let's get started, okay? We're going to go in order and make sure that you see... Yeah, Steve. So the states are completely out. All right. Oh, great. I restarted my browser, and YouTube is going to take like 30 minutes to actually let me type in my results or my polls here. So the first guy that we're going to talk about today is PK Subban. And I have a poll here, so that way, you vote once, right? So S, that's going to be one of the results. Now, we only have 4 options with YouTube live streaming, unfortunately. But we'll make it work, okay? So I'll explain that in just a minute as I type in these options. And then, there we go. We got the NA, right? That's the, cool. All right. So, hey, Ronald, thanks for hopping in here. Bob Probert. Oh, well, we're just doing today's NHL players. We're not doing all-time. But if this is a successful stream, then we'll do an all-time one as well. Or at least I would hope that we could. Okay, guys, so make sure to vote in our poll here. So you have 4 choices. S tier, scum of the NHL, just the absolute worst in today's NHL. Then we have the A tier or B. That's going to be one option. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the percentages, okay? So I'm going to write like what percentages players get. So then that way I actually have an understanding that if somebody gets a lot of S tier votes, but a ton of A tier votes or A or B, then maybe I slide them in the A tier versus the B tier. So I'll be able to figure this out on the fly, I'm sure. Yeah. How is Patrick Kane on this list? Buffalo cab driver, dude. So there we go. So cast your vote. I want everybody to cast a vote. You don't have to think long and hard about this. Just have a good time, because I want to make sure I move the stream along. It's going to take a while to get through 30 players. So let's. We got over 20 people here hanging out. So I want 20 votes. So I'll give it another 15 seconds here. Can Sean Avery count? Well, yeah. So Jenna, I certainly will consider doing an all-time most hated. Absolutely. But I wanted to focus on just the players today, just to see if like recent events, hits in the playoffs, if that sort of thing really has rocketed a player up the list. No, Riley, Jack Eichel is going to be the next player. All right. So 5 seconds, guys. Cast your vote, press a button, and we'll make it happen. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I'm going to close this poll. All right. And obviously, we're not going to have as many votes right now. I'm sure as the stream progresses, we'll get more. But, all right. So C or D was 37%. That is the leading vote getter. NA was 31. And then we had A or B was 25. And S was only 6%. Okay. So it's very weighted. It's weighted mostly toward C or D. And because the NA tier at the very bottom got more than the A or B tier, I'm actually going to put PK Subban in hardly a danger. All right. That almost sounds like Harvey Danger. All right. Oh, all-time most hated, we better have Rafi Torres. Hey, thanks for the reminder, Nick. I would absolutely consider Rafi Torres. You and I both know a thing or two about that. All right. So, again, YouTube likes to basically take their sweet time letting me actually add options every time I want to run a poll. So let me type this in. Hey, Junie, thanks for hopping in here. I'm doing pretty well. Almost Friday. Hope you're having a smooth week as well. I know some people are going back to school already. All right. All right, guys. Next player is Jack Eichel. Had some unsavory comments about Sabres fans earlier this season. And, yeah. That's pretty much the basis. Not like he's done dirty stuff on the ice or anything like that. So, that's our next guy. What has Subban done outside of the Boston rivalry? Watch Alyssa Hope's video on PK Subban. She's made actually a few of them. But this guy has a reputation for slew footing. King Tone, thanks for hopping in here. Great to have you along for this evening's stream. Could I do the most loved NHL players? Possibly, but you know what? The thing is that with the internet today, like going hard on negativity absolutely gets a lot more attention than going hard on positivity. But I won't rule it out. All right, so everybody cast a vote here. All right, we got 12 votes so far. Let's see if we can get close to 20. I'd love everybody to get a vote in. And make sure if you're having a good time doing this tonight, please do ding that like button. That way we'll get more folks like yourselves in our live streams. Shane Doan, absolutely. Captain Coyote, I remember somebody once saying. All right. I only see 12 votes, guys, so definitely keep them coming. All right, I'm still only seeing 12 votes, so can we get at least like 15 or 16? Yeah, I mean, there's no real perfect way to do this, honestly, but I have done, I think, what is my best here. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now, Jenna. It'd be tough to come up with a list, right? Because players are generally more loved than hated, I think. All right. Let's do 10 seconds, guys. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're going to close this one out. All right. Where's Jack Eichel? All right. So 31 S tier, 25 A or B, 25 C or D, 18% NA. Okay. So based purely on plurality, right? The most common option is S tier. So we're going to put him up there for now, but because I want to make sure that we distribute the results fairly evenly, I imagine that we'll probably bump him down to A, if not B tier. So that is just right now, and it could definitely change. So I'm going to record the results again. It was what? 31, 25, 25, 18. So definitely take these with a grain of salt for right now, especially when we've got guys like Cory Perry coming up next. Yeah, personally, I wouldn't rate Jack Eichel all that high. I don't think he's among the most hated in the NHL per se. But yeah, when you say unsavory stuff about the fans, I know he was just kind of trying to make a joke, but it just really fell flat. So anyway. All right, next up, Cory Perry. My God. All right. Cory Perry, S. A or B. C. Come on. Or D. Or is it going to be N, A? All right. Everybody, cast your vote for Cory Perry. Certainly one of the most agitating players of this era. And I mean, Cory Perry is no spring chicken. He's been in the NHL seemingly forever. You think about that penalty he took during the what was that? The Dallas Stars Winter Classic. He's a demon. He does. Don't forget, guys. Cory Perry has a Hart Trophy. He was the league's MVP in one season. All right. So yeah, definitely get your votes in. I love it. We already got as many votes for Cory Perry. This is perfect. Cory Perry S. I don't know. He behaved himself pretty well this past season, though. So, will there be a recency bias, or do you think otherwise? And he has a Rocket Richard? Oh, shoot. I didn't even know that, Ernie. You would kick him in the leg. Knocked off Kemper's water bottle during the last cup game? Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, Perry would do that kind of stuff away from the play. All right, let's go 10 seconds on Cory Perry. Alrighty. And closing this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So you can already see that after this poll, Cory Perry ranked a lot higher in the top two tiers than even Jack Eichel did. So, I mean, if we get more players like Cory Perry, then I'll bump Eichel down. I'll just say I dislike Eichel. There you go. Perfect. That's how it's done. All right, 38, 33, 16, 11, right? Is that what I'm seeing? Okay. 38, 33, 16, 11. So Cory Perry, you comfortably have a spot in the S tier. All right. He's like a cockroach. Yeah, that's a perfect analogy. How many players are on this list? We've got 30 players. I know I missed some who are, current NHL players, but I mean, in the interest of time, right? there's only so much we can do. We've got 3 players down. We're only 1/10 of the way through this. Plus, who knows? We could get more people joining, and so that could definitely consume more time. All right, next up, Jacob Trouba. Now, I know 1 or 2 people had suggested that I put him on this list, and I will definitely come to your defense because this guy was getting away with a lot of crap in the playoffs. His hit with Crosby was what took him out of that series. All right. Oh, Jenna, you're a Sharks fan too. Right on. All right. So cast your vote for the Troubadour. Hey, Sports Geeks coming through the 5 spot. Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. That right there takes care of my DoorDash tip. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Let's throw it down for Sports Geeks in the chat, guys. All right, 13 votes. Right on. We got 26 people here, so let's double up on those votes, guys. Most questionable caption in the NHL has to be this dirtbag. Caption? I don't know if I'm following exactly. Oh, captain. Captain. He was named captain of the New York Rangers, too. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sports Geeks. Very kind of you. Wait. I learned how to say somebody is nice in Czech the other night. I gotta recall how to say that. But yeah, I'm trying to learn a little bit of Česky for when I go to Prague. All right, let's close this out in 10 seconds, guys. Hey, what's going on, Evan? You're exactly at the right time. Yeah. Kadri is a flame. All right. Let's close it out, right, Meow? Yes. All right, so Trouba, he's going to get 42% in A or B tier. Okay. 28 for the S tier. And then the other 2 tiers, 14 and 14. Okay, so the plurality here is A tier. So I will put him up in A because he got a little bit more top tier consideration than he did bottom tier. So I'll stick him in A right now. But again, guys, I will shift these around a little bit to balance things out because right now, you look at Trouba, 70% of you have him in the top 3 tiers, whereas with Eichel, only 56% of you do. So I'm actually going to drop Jack Eichel down to the B, or you know what? I'll stick him back. I'll stick Eichel in A, but I might drop him down to the B tier. So there is a method to my madness, as you can tell right here. So I got you, Twisters. I got you. Well, Sports Geeks, you're tuning in, right? You're watching my videos. That's the foundation. That's what I need most. And the super chats are just icing on the cake. Although I'm going to be asking for everybody's money later on when I announce my channel memberships. So if anybody here is interested in more streams like this, in addition to what I put out on the channel, you want to get some member exclusive content, I'm going to start channel memberships in October. All you got to do is see the video description down below if you haven't already. Fill out a survey to help me understand what you would want in a channel membership. So more information on that to come, but I certainly would be excited to give some of you out there exclusive content and opportunities to interact with other members. All right, enough of that PSA. Let's go to our next player here. Just a moment. All right, so this time it's going to be Jordan Binnington. If there's any goaltender in the NHL who is a tool, it is Jordan Binnington. I'm a Sharks fan. I've seen it. You can see him right here, like trying to stage up James Reimer or whoever it was. And yeah, this guy definitely is a hothead. Yeah, Tom. Don't worry, Evan. We got Tom Wilson coming up at some point. All right. So S tier, is it alpha or beta? Let's see, A or B. Come on. All right, there we go. C or D, or is it not applicable? All right. So here we go, guys. Jordan Binnington S tier. I wouldn't say that he's that bad, but for a goaltender in today's NHL, right, where goaltenders aren't that violent or anything like that. Now, a lot of people would want Aaron Dell to be on this list, but he's not playing any NHL games this upcoming season, I'm pretty sure. So, but as a Sharks fan, I know Aaron Dell got away with some crap for sure. The Kadri water bottle incident, good one, Jenna. Yeah. Jordan Binnington threw a water bottle at Nazm Kadri in the playoffs. Yeah, during an interview, right? $18 votes, right on. We'll give you about 15 seconds, guys. All right, Vanessa, have a good night. Got a good view on Cortana, by the way. It's very important that we have optimal Cortana cam in effect. Let's see here. Can I stretch that there? Okay, maybe not the best. I can do this. There we go. There's my baby girl right there. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. Let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And thanks for hopping in here, Dre and Hannah. All right. So this one, Sean Avery. Yeah, John. So this is just today's NHL, but some people are interested in doing an all-time most hated players of all time. So how could I not, guys, right? So let me know if you want to see that. More views, more likes, all that good stuff is certainly encouraging. And for folks, I do put out polls on my channel to see what kind of live streams you want me to run. So, yeah, hopefully we have a chance to do this, before the season starts or whatever. All right. Where is Subban? No, Subban because of his slew footing. Have you ever seen Alyssa Hope's video on PK Subban? It really is kind of eye-opening about like how much stuff he's gotten away with, frankly. All right, Binnington, he is at what? Don't give no ish about Binnington. That's fine, I don't care. Let's see. S tier 30, 34, 30, and 5. Okay, 30, 34, 35. 30, 34, 30, and 5. Okay, so Binnington would go in the A tier, but was he more disliked than Jack Eichel? Yeah, he is. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to put, but let's see here. Where does he come up, or where does he compare to Trouba? Okay, they're pretty close right now. So I'm going to put Binnington in the A tier, and I'm going to drop Eichel down to the B tier. But that's the lowest that I'll put him because, again, the plurality of votes actually had Eichel in the S tier. So that is where I think he belongs. Throwing a water bottle is more dirty than a slewfoot. All right. Here we go. So the next player is Brady Tkachuk. Now, one person had suggested that to me, and I figured we could put Brady in here because we got his brother in here. All right. I just decided that, why not? I mean, Brady, some people might be pissed off at him for like wearing a Flames shirt to see his brother in a playoff game or the whole Budweiser endorsement. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't have him on here really, but I figured I'd float this one out there. So, but you guys might know something that I don't. So, let's consider Brady Tkachuk here. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got as many photos of these players like doing dirty things or just like with punchable smiles and stuff like that. Anyway. Oh, what was I doing there? CD. No, I'm not coding right now. All right, let's see here. Or NA. All right. Matthew is a saint. There we go. You got to wait a while, Steve, though. It's going to... I have Tkachuk, the other Tkachuk at the end of this. All right, guys. Cast your vote for Brady Tkachuk. Metal Mike, hey, thanks for hopping in here. Toria, how you doing? Slew footing can end a career. And we saw a slew footing last night in the Czechia-US game. Is Brendan Lemieux on here? Yes, he's at the very end of this list. This is totally randomized, just FYI. Yeah, Sports Geeks, I just saw your comment there. That's kind of the idea, right? Produce some content that I normally wouldn't necessarily on my channel. One thing is because YouTube is so picky about what videos of mine it chooses to share with you guys. So I want to make sure that I'm delivering a consistent experience on my main channel for everybody to watch and enjoy. And then for people who want a little bit more history, a little bit more jersey content, some videos of Cortana, some stuff that I normally wouldn't upload, then yeah, we'll do that through memberships. Not to mention, if people are interested in seeing some additional content from my upcoming epic trip to Europe, including the global series between the Sharks and Predators, I'll be at those 2 games. Some of that, though, I will put on the channel, absolutely. All right. Catch you later, Junie. Yeah, Brett Berard. Oh, yeah, didn't 4 Rangers draft picks get ejected yesterday? All right, let's close this out. I think that's probably enough time. All right, so Brady Tkachuk. We're going to end that poll. And yeah, hey, Jacob, thanks for hopping in. Where's Robin Lehner? Raymond, great question. I considered him, but I think that Robin Lehner maybe is more kind of disliked by the NHL executives for speaking out about injuries and that sort of thing. I don't think it's necessarily the fans as much. But I did think about him. And so, yeah, sure. I think that he was certainly eligible to make the cut here. All right. Tkachuk. Let's see here. What was the... okay, so 9, 13, 40, 36. 9, 13, 40, 36. Okay. So the plurality here is the 40% in the C or D tier. And that's where we'll put him in the D tier. Where does he rank? Interesting. So Tkachuk actually ranks less than PK Subban. So maybe Tkachuk could actually slide down into the NA tier. But we'll get to that later on. Because now, guys, we got Brad Marchand. What was with the Habs taking on Monahan? Well, they got a conditional first-round draft pick in 2025. And by doing that, I was going to say, they only have to pay him for this 1 year. So it's not a huge commitment. Hey, thank you, Paige. I appreciate that. Hopefully I won't let you down. All right, so next up here, Brad Marchand. Although, you know, man, I gotta hand it to him and some other folks out there. Marshawn leans into it. He likes being the villain. You know, he's taking a picture with a fan who had a sign that said "Extinguish the rat." I respect that. All right, and that's the thing. These guys, most of them are probably still good people outside of this. They haven't signed Kirby Dach. Okay, well, they also have long-term injured reserve, right? Because now they traded out the Weber contract, right? So I think that couldn't they make room to put Monahan on IR? Anyway. All right, so cast your vote here for Brad Marchand. Lander gets a lot of hate because Marc-Andre Fleury was so beloved and had that Vezina season. Yeah, I think that should be a contributing factor. He called Vinny a Prius. Those antics between them was pretty funny, I gotta say. I actually kind of considered Trocheck, but he's just kind of a pest, right? Versus a rat. I don't know. I personally love Vincent Trocheck, so there you go. All right. 25 votes. I love it. Keep them coming, guys. I think I'll actually let this poll run a little bit longer. He has an S-tier punchable face. It's kind of hard to argue against that. But again, I respect the guy for leaning into it entirely. And not to mention, I've seen his Instagram or Twitter videos with his daughter. She's adorable. So sure he's a pretty rockin' dad. All right, so let's give it about 15 more seconds, guys. Cast your votes. I know we got some more people joining us here. Jensen for Norris, hello. Your birthday's tomorrow? Hey, let's wish Victoria a happy birthday. Thanks for hopping in here. All right, we're gonna close out Marshawn in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Run with Kings. That's an interesting point. But I heard that a former goaltending coach of Price said that he should be good to go for this season. You take Marshawn on your team. Yeah, absolutely. I think he helps your team a hell of a lot more than he hurts your team. Whereas like somebody like Evander Kane, it's a little bit more up in the air. All right. So S tier 61%, 25, 6 and 6. All right. That rat face liquor. Exactly. How could I not include that as the photo, right? What was that, 6 and 6? Okay. So, according to you guys, Marshawn goes to the S tier, and he is without question the top vote getter. Although Cory Perry still was pretty hated, but yeah, he's going to create some good separation between Perry. All right. Hey, Bruin, how you doing, man? All right, when did hockey fans become so soft? Some people just get triggered more these days. I think the licking kind of sets things over the edge, though, don't you? Where is Cory Perry? Cory Perry's right next to Marchand right now. All right. Price may not be playing this season, though. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any updates on that recently. All right, so next up is Pat Maroon. Big rig. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to see these players. If I did headshots, that'd be easier. But I love some of these thumbnails, right? All right, we got. Pardon me while I get this poll together here. YouTube is on a huge delay with my keyboard inputs. Of course, you come in when we were talking about Marshawn. Yeah, you wouldn't have it any other way. All right, guys. Pat Maroon, where does the big rig, a.k.a. Fat Pat, stand? Where would you have him? 3-time Stanley Cup champion, excuse me. Red Ghost, NHL fan from England. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining. I know it's awfully late over there. But yeah, we've attracted a lot of British viewers over the last few months. Maroon's a sore loser? And guys, thank you for thanks for keeping it really like respectful and fun right now. Like this is great. Just keep doing exactly this. All right. Wow, Steven, that A or S tier. But yeah. You love to hate him. Yeah. And most of these players, you know, it's not there are very few of them who I like just genuinely wouldn't want to meet, you know? But like, would I want to meet Brad Marchand? Yeah, I'd like to meet Brad Marchand. I'm sure that he'd be cool. Or even if he was upset about something, I would just be like, yeah, but I met Brad Marchand. Anyway. Alright, so let's close this out in about 10 seconds, guys. The Maroon / Oh, huh. I don't remember that, Dre. That sounds like vaguely familiar, but I'd have to like go back and take a look at that. But the winning goal, wasn't it? Was the winning goal Nico Sturm? I can't remember. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yeah, is Sidney Crosby on this list? Yes, I put Crosby and Ovechkin. All right, let's go. So we've got who's in the D tier right now? It's Subban and Brady Tkachuk. All right, so S tier 37%. I'm actually pretty surprised. Okay, 37, 24, 27. 37, 24, 27, and 10. Okay. So Maroon, the plurality is S tier. Is he above Cory Perry? He got more S tier percentage, but Cory Perry got more for the A and the B tiers. So I'll put Maroon in S tier right now, but we're going to re-rank these relative to their percentages. So I'm doing all my recording here, and we'll see where things end up later on. Okay. Next up is Alex Ovechkin. Exactly, John. That's the fan sentiment that I wanted to make sure I captured here. All right. So next up is Ovi. Alex Ovechkin. A, come on, or B, C, or D, or is he in the NA? All right. So for Ovechkin, I mean, this, you could argue this could date all the way back to when he came into the NHL and was showboating and celebrating. When I was younger, that used to actually upset me for some reason. I was this old school purist, despite never playing the game. So there was that. Maybe some of the hits of his being excessive. Maybe his Stanley Cup celebrations. Yes, he and his family, I think, have they actually know Vladimir Putin. I'm not going to get into that, but there is a history between those two parties. So that is it. All right, so how are we doing so far? NA, okay. I mean, I figured that there would be a good amount of people putting him in NA. But he hits captains dirty. Yeah, I mean, Ovechkin has probably... I mean, I'm sure he's thrown a few late hits. I mean, he's used his body to his advantage, but maybe has kind of taken advantage of that beyond a reasonable extent. He jumps into every hit. I mean, I've kind of seen some of that too. He's similar to Dustin Brown. Interesting. Hannah, I wish I could have included Dustin Brown here as well. Oh, God, I wish I could have. Maybe if we do the most hated players all time, because, of course, Dustin Brown retiring at the end of this season. All right, let's give about 10 seconds left to Alex Ovechkin. All right, Ovi going in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So the plurality is with him going into the not applicable tier, so that's where we're going to start, right? But he's still got decent representation for the S tier and the C and D. Okay, so what is that? What is that now? 26, 23, 26, 23, and 50. Okay, so with 50% of votes in the NA, we're going to put him down here in NA. But let's compare him to Brady Tkachuk, because Brady, Brady only 4, so 70, okay. Okay, that's pretty fair. That's a pretty fair ranking right now. But Brady Tkachuk might slide down into the NA tier as well. All right. So the next one is going to be John Tavares. Now, John Tavares seems pretty much just like a regular dude. No hard feelings. But there is, of course, the Islanders fan base in particular who's a bit salty about him not returning to Long Island and signing with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Pajama Boy is up next. And actually, some Sharks fans might also not like John Tavares because he turned down $13 million annually. That's $1.5 million more than Erik Karlsson so that he could play in Toronto. All right, so Can't wait till Ovi breaks Gretzky's record. I mean, yeah, that's going to be incredibly exciting to track, like, that season, right? Like, he should break it, you know, in 2024-25. I think that's, like, basically the projection. He could do it earlier. Actually, no, probably not. All right, C or D? Or is he not applicable? All right. All right, John Tavares, guys, cast your vote. I figured this would be a really interesting one here. Right? I don't want to just choose guys who have the most penalty minutes in the NHL. Yeah. 14 million? Really? I don't recall it being that high. JT is S tier? Interesting. Yeah, Kieran, that's the word I was looking for. Snake, right? Hey, Nessa Addict, how you doing, man? And thanks for being a subscriber on the channel. I know that you create a lot of content yourself, too. It's the Maple Leafs, by default, it's S tier. Ovi would have broken the record. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he would have broken it already, but you're like, I agree with you, right? He would probably have a shot at doing it this year. And he's mostly been healthy for his career, too. Mostly. All right. Fish sticks, yeah, I like fish sticks. Okay. All right, let's close out Tavares in about 10 seconds, guys. All-time Scott Hartnell. You know what? I actually liked Scott Hartnell, even though he was a thorn. Absolutely, but he's somebody who you'd like to have on your team. Right on, man. I appreciate that. Okay. Closing it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So, John Tavares, the majority of votes actually were for the NA with 43%. Oh, shoot. I accidentally wrote something wrong. Okay. Ovechkin. So, 43% in NA, followed by 30% for C or D. So he actually ties Ovechkin in that respect, believe it or not. And then you had 16 for S and then 10 for C or D. Okay. So he and Ovechkin are basically tied right now. But because Ovechkin got a little bit more at the bottom, I think that I'll put, they're basically identical. All right. Although Ovechkin got 20% for S tier. So, you know what? I'm going to slide them. There we go. And like I said, I might move Ovechkin up here. I could move Brady Tkachuk down. All right. What is Tom Wilson doing on this list? He's the reason why we've got this list, man. All right. Penguins and Flyers fans, you both hate Scott Stevens. There we go. All right. Hey, Dan, how we doing? Thanks for hopping in here, man. Do I have any Red Wings on this list? I actually don't think I do. Or nobody currently. All right. Next up is going to be Phil the Thrill Kessel. Now, I got to say this. Among us, I'm sure pretty much everybody here doesn't hate Phil Kessel. But he does kind of have a reputation as a locker room cancer. So you guys cast your votes, all right? I got to actually use the restroom because, man, I've already drank like half of this cup of water and I had like a same bottle of Powerade earlier. So anyway, vote for Phil Kessel, all right? I'll be right back. I'm just going to quickly use the restroom. You can watch Cortana in the meantime. And if, of course, you haven't already, do drop a like, guys. And I'll be right back. Hot dog Phil. All right. Come on, Cortana. Well, actually, no. You stay there. I'll be right back. Okay? 1 sec. Actually, wait. We're going to do something. Actually, no. back to it. Whoop. All right. Here we are. Okay, Phil Kessel, 52% not applicable. Interesting. Okay. Hey, this ain't my list. This is all up to you. All right. So, let's close out Phil Kessel in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, Phil Kessel, I think, is the least hated player in the NHL in this list. So, he got what? He got 54, 25, 12. Okay. And 8 for S tier. Okay, cool. So, Kessel is very much safe on this list. Okay. All right. Now the next one. And he was a big subject of NHL news today, and that is Nazm Kadri. He has been suspended a couple times in the playoffs. That kind of headlines his antics. Although, of course, he had his own injury in the playoffs to overcome, which he did, and he thrived very much for them. But hey, he certainly does make this list with his history. All right, so Flames legend Nazm Kadri. Come on, YouTube. All right, is he S tier? Is he A or B? All right, guys. Kadri, here we go. Cortana should have a hot dog costume. You're probably right. She would look adorable in that. I definitely have to get Cortana some like NHL themed shirts though. I wonder if I can like commission someone to like knit her something that looks like a hockey helmet. That'd be amazing. Chris Pronger. Oh yeah. Absolutely. If we're going to do all time, Chris Pronger has to be absolutely on that list. That stream, though, if we're talking about like the most hated players of all time, that could be like a 5-hour stream. But if people are down, we could do it. Brendan Lemieux is definitely... I see what you're saying now. Okay. Now Steve, the Panthers fan, officially hates the Flames. Yeah, I mean, I think Kadri has certainly... Well, wait a second. Wasn't he suspended 2 years ago in the playoffs? All right. Kasparaitis was hated. Yes, I did see that. Mm-hmm. 5-hour stream. Wow. Damn, I gotta consider that. All right. So we got 25 votes for Kadri. We'll give you about 15 seconds, guys. The Legion of Doom line is very hated. Even beyond Eric Lindros, you'd say? Okay, let's close out Kadri in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Oh, you met Kasparaitis. Interesting. Okay, so 35, 35, 21, and 7. Okay. Let's see. 35, 35. It's funny. I accidentally put Bortuzzo because I was thinking that Robert Bortuzzo should make this list as well. All right. 35 for the middle tiers. And then this was 21, and that was, 7? Okay, so for this one, I'm going to actually put Kadri. Because he got more NA versus S, I'm going to put him at C tier. He'll be the first player officially in C tier. Okay. Who hates Phil Kessel? Like I said, I did it because it's not like the fans. It's more about like his reputation in the NHL is kind of a locker room cancer. So there you go. Yeah. But yeah, Phil Kessel would be like my 30 most beloved players in the NHL or something. All right, next up is Patrick Kane. He's not the only Kane on this list, of course. Now, what drives this really is when he was a lot younger. He was in the NHL, I believe, at this point, and he punched a cab driver in Buffalo. Oops, wait, what am I doing? Cool. Or is he in the NA? Micro, what's going on? How you doing, man? All right. So the Patrick Kane's up next, guys. Hey, people don't forget, Nick. But so far, he's actually in the NA tier. What about Jonathan Toews? I can't really think about anything that Toews has ever done that would warrant his placement on this list. Punching a cab driver in Buffalo is what you do. Owen, what's up, man? Thanks for hopping in here. Yeah, in 2010, now he's fine. Exactly. So, yeah. Who's the Vegas player in B? It's Jack Eichel for trashing Sabres fans this last season. All right, so we'll give about 15 more seconds for Patrick Kane here. Micro, yes, Bobby Lou refers to Roberto Luongo. Taves faked. Oh, yeah. All right, guys, let's end this one in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So here for Kane, we have, hey, Gonzalo. Bienvenido. Thank you for joining us. All right, we've got 35 for C or D, and NA is 32. Okay, so 35, 32. And let's see here. You're right, Owen. It's Eric Carlson. Oh, how much was B tier? B tier was 19 and S was 12. Okay. So here the plurality is with C or D tier. So let's compare Patrick Kane to Brady Tkachuk. And they're virtually tied, actually. So Patrick Kane is going to be right here next to Brady Tkachuk. All right. Alex Burrows. Oh, boy. God, Alex Burrows might have to be in the most hated all time. I have shirtless Kucherov. Exactly. Exactly. All right, here we go. Next up is going to be Milan Lucic. And here we have him in the playoffs running into Mike Smith. All right, Milan Lucic. Long career he's had. All right, Bruin, have a good night, man. B. All right, wait, no, I'm going to do C or D. Or is he in the NA? Come on, YouTube. Come through for me, brother. All right. Our next player is Milan Lucic. This will be just peachy. Yeah, I hear you, Mike. Wow, so 39% so far say that Lucic doesn't even belong in this list. I'm interested to see how this alters, though. 19 votes, okay. Well, we got 40 people here, so I think we can get around 30 votes, yeah. Wow, all the flames from my Kadri video today come over to the stream and got Lucic in the NA so far. All right, about 15 seconds, guys. Cast your vote. Did he really say that, Golfy? Of course, you can't necessarily take those things at face value, but still, that's those are strong words. Anyway, we'll close out Lucic in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're going to Megadeth show. Right on. You know what? I haven't given them their due, honestly. I never could like really get into them, but I haven't listened to enough of their catalog to really form like a final opinion on that. Okay, so Lucic got 36% for NA, but he got 31% for S tier. So basically, guys, Lucic goes right in the middle of the B tier. Plain and simple. I know that the plurality is with the S tier, but if you look at those percentages, it's very polarizing. So 31, and then it was what, 15, 15, 36? All right, next up, Nikita Kucherov. Brian Boyle. Shoot, I didn't think about that, Steven. I don't know if I'd have Brian Boyle on this list necessarily. But I haven't really watched him that much in his career. Because like when I think of Brian Boyle, I think of, he overcame cancer. But anyway. Let's see here. Next up is, Nikita Kucherov. Are you kidding me? All right. Just a moment, guys. That's fine. Is Closeru hated much? Oh, I don't think so. I mean, not outside the Penguins fan base, I don't think. And I don't even think they badmouth him that much or anything like that. All right. So we got A or B, C or D, and then lastly, of course, we have the NA. All right, cast your vote for Nikita Kucherov. Two-time Stanley Cup champion, Hart Trophy winner, Art Ross winner as well. I don't think he's won the Conn Smythe, though. Who would be the most loved player in the NHL, man? That's tough. That's tough because, there are some players who are so loved, but they're also hated a ton by a smaller group of fans. So I don't know, man. Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, I think those guys are loved a ton. Good one, Steven. All right. What do you guys think of Kucherov? Yeah, Fleury is definitely one of the most loved, I would say. Oshie. Now, Nick Jensen, that's interesting because the Hockey News put out an article, I think it was last year, where they were monitoring social media to see which player was talked about the most. I think this is during the postseason. And so, like, Milan Lucic, I think, was one of them. Tom Wilson was one of them, right? And they were monitoring to see what percentage of tweets were negative about that player. And I think, like, number 3 in terms of negativity was TJ Oshie, which blew my mind. Because he's my favorite player in the NHL, basically. Anyway. All right, let's close out Kucherov in 10 seconds, guys. So cast your vote if you haven't already. How loved is Brent Burns? I don't think he's loved all that much. I think the media loves Brent Burns particularly, but he's not hated. Nah, he's not hated. All right. If you did all time. Yeah. Okay, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So actually, Kucherov got the most for the S tier, but again, the percentages are fairly even. So I'm gonna find a way to calculate this, guys. 31, 20, or 23. Okay. Pavel Datsyuk, yeah, he's up there absolutely for most loved. 28 and 15. Okay. So Nikita Kucherov, right? I want to see where he compares to, let's say, Pat Maroon. Maroon, 37 and 24. Okay. They actually compare fairly well. How does he compare against Trouba? 28 and 42. Interesting. All right. So we need to make a change here, guys. Perry was 38 and 33. I think there's a little bit of a separation now. I might come back and revise this. But I'm going to put Kucherov right next to Pat Maroon, but I'm sliding them both into the A tier. All right. Personally, I wouldn't have Kucherov that high. But yeah, I can definitely see if people hate him. But god dang it, he's amazing. All right, next up is David Perron, who has always been a heel, to say the least, in his career. Are the Avs and Jets rivals? Well, I'm not plugged in too much to those fan bases, but I don't think they're that big of rivals of anything. Anyway, next up is David Perron. And yeah, he went after Nazm Kadri in the playoffs this past season too. All right. So let's see here. S, A, or B, C, or D. Come on, YouTube. Or is he an NA? All right, David Perron. Go for it. Oh, let me hear. You didn't even need to type that. I knew that right off the bat. All right, guys. So definitely cast your votes there. I'm doing my absolute best here to try to like shift around the votes or the players here, kind of corresponding to what percentage they get for each tier. Yeah, that's true. You also have to account that Perron's not playing for St. Louis anymore. I mean, that's because he needs to take a break before he has his, fourth tour duty there? I know. I was actually pretty surprised that he didn't sign in St. Louis. All right, 20 votes. Good. Let's give it about 15 more seconds, guys. Okay, closing out David Perron in 5, 4, 3, 2, and closing it out. Okay. So, what do we have ourselves here? All right. 34 for A tier, 25 for S. C or D is 25 and 15 for NA. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. How does he compare to Jack Eichel? Eichel was 31-25. So Perron got a little bit more hate than he did, actually. What about against Binnington? 30-24, or excuse me, 30-34. So not quite. All right. I'm going to put, for right now, David Perron is at the front of the B tier. I have a feeling this guy might be rated a little bit worse than B tier, and that's Tony DeAngelo. This guy is he's just a hothead to start. He gets into it with his own teammates. Before he entered the NHL, he had some very condemnable shit to say as well. What was this? This was an important question. Tacos or burritos? Oh, burritos, hands down. I love tacos, don't get me wrong. But nah, burritos, without a doubt, man. Alright, let's see here. A or B. And as for the meat of choice, it is without question pastor. Although I love chile verde as well. Okay. Is Brad Marchand on this list? Absolutely. Yeah, DeAngelo is hated by his own fans, pretty much. And Evan agrees, having watched him and his Rangers facing the Hurricanes in the playoffs, too. All right. Where did I buy my hat? I got this from, I think this was a Fanatics purchase a few years ago when they had a sale. Or it might have been Lids, but I think it was Fanatics. I don't know. I love this hat too. This is like one of my 3 favorite hats that I own. It's fantastic. All right, there we are. Expectations for the inevitable Tony DeAngelo with Torts debacle. Yeah, I know, right? When I did my off-season power rankings a few weeks ago, I had the Flyers at the very bottom. Not just because of those two, but just as a whole, the Flyers have no idea what the hell they're doing. Like, Nick Delorier for 4 years, right? They had extended Ristolainen in the season. It's so weird, man. All right. How are we doing so far? 50% nest here. I am not surprised to see that. All right, let's give about 15 more seconds here for DeAngelo. Yeah, but I think somebody asked earlier, is Marshawn on the list? Yeah, Marshawn's at the very top in the S tier. He's licking Ryan Callahan. ESPN's Ryan Callahan. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so 53% for the S tier. So Tony DeAngelo definitely getting in the doghouse there with Marchand. 226. What was that for C? 15 and 5? Okay. So let's see here. Where does he rank versus Brad Marchand? Who was worse? Ooh, Marchand was worse. But is DeAngelo worse than Cory Perry? Oh, absolutely he is. Okay. So yeah, we're going to put... Yeah, that's 78 to Perry was what? 71? So there we go. All right. Boom, there's DeAngelo. I mean, the Flyers had better be tanking, but why would you hire like a 63-year-old John Tortorella to work with a team that isn't going to be anywhere near the playoffs in the next at least 3 or 4 years? Anyway. Brad Marchand changed? Well, I mean, this is like body of work, really. But yeah, I mean, he certainly did let up quite a bit. And I think that he's going to make a case for the Hockey Hall of Fame. All right. So the next player here is Drew Doughty. Now with Doughty, I don't know if it's necessarily he's not like a dirty player. I don't recall. It's more about his chirping and his, just because he's so good and he's also able to talk-ish pretty damn well as well. So I know that like players think he's actually really funny. I bet he is, but fans do not like him at all. Oops. All right. So, come on, YouTube. All right, cast your vote. How old is Cortana? She is 8.5. Actually, wait. She is 8 years old and 7 months now. Yeah, but she's incredibly fit. Like a couple months ago, we went on a 17-mile hike, and she wanted to keep running around afterwards too. All right. Is Ryan Reeves on this list? Yes. Drew Doughty looks like a Wookiee. Not as much as Brent Burns, but he definitely has, at least in this picture, he's got quite the goatee going on, or the, Fu Manchu. Fu Man Drew, I should say. Drew N.A. just to trigger me. Yeah, look, it's not him that I couldn't stand. It was always Dustin Brown. Dustin Brown is in a category of his own. That's the reason why Dustin Brown didn't appear. It's not because he retired. It's because there is no tier that can properly articulate the ire I have for Dustin Brown. Do him a disservice? Okay, we'll be sure he goes at least in the A tier. All right. Drew Doughty, let's give 10 seconds on this. Yeah, that's right. We're not going to get Kachuk and Doughty nearly as often. That is unfortunate. All right. Closing it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. He's really funny. Right on. And I mean, I wouldn't think that you guys would have ranked him that high, right? I think that he's pretty harmless. But, yeah, so 39% NA. What was his CD? It was 26, 21, and just 13% for S. So, let's see here. Doughty would be in the NA. Now, how does he rate against Ovechkin? 50, 23. Let me just do a little number crunching. Okay. Yeah, Ovechkin's kind of tough because he did get some hate. Let's see here. Tavares. Does Doughty rate better than Tavares? No. This is tough, guys. What about Kessel? Kessel was, I think, the most liked out of you guys comparatively. So, we'll stick Doughty down here in the D tier because he had the plurality. Yeah. He's really... I don't know. We're going to put him down here in the D tier, though. How about that? All right, Owen. Have a good night. Star Wars or Marvel? I've never been a huge comic book guy, so original Star Wars trilogy, sure. But I can't really comment about the more current stuff. All right, let's see here. John Wick. How about that? John Wick above all. Let's see here. Next up on my list is Tyler Seguin. Now, Tyler Seguin, the reason why I included him is there are two reasons. Is he a dirty player? No, right? But first of all, his contract has just been an absolute albatross. And the other is because of this picture right here, right? He kind of attracts some unwanted attention, you know? I don't think that he handles it poorly by any means, but I figured, again, I wanted to make sure that we kind of considered some players who might not have a reputation as being dirty in the first place. So that's why he's on here. Tyler Seguin. What do you guys think? And then we have how many more players after him? We have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're moving along pretty well. 6:15. Right on. S plus. Oh, yeah, that's right. He was on Dude Perfect. I don't think I ever saw that. All right. Catch you later, CJ. He's popular in K-pop? Interesting. Huh. That's so bizarre. Then again, like, Justin Bieber's wife wore a Sharks jersey one time, so you never know. But then again, it's highly fashionable. All right, let's close this out in about 10 seconds, guys. Now, I know that we're kind of dropping viewers a little bit, so we'll need to move this along. And after this, I'm going to work on learning some more Czech for when I go to Prague. All right, let's close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so Tyler Seguin, 37% for the C tier. So he'll at least go down to D, if not something else. All right, so 36 for C or D, 31 for NA. Yeah, Bieber is a Leafs fan. 15, and let's see here. S tier was 15 as well. Okay, so plurality is C or D tier. Now, how does he compare against PK Subban? They are nearly identical, actually. So I'm gonna put Seguin right here, actually. Yeah. Okay. All right. You finally get your Hawks jersey? All right. Well, I hope that it pans out, that you get exactly what you paid for, man. All right. Bieber's pretty good at hockey. Yeah, I think I've seen him skate a little bit. He's got some skill. Does he have a hockey DB? I know Paris Hilton has a hockey DB. How about that? Or not a hockey DB, a elite prospects profile. All right, so the next player on this list is Erik Karlsson. Certainly when we talk about prima donnas in the NHL, Erik Karlsson has to be toward the front of that. You think of... Now, granted, I don't fault him, and I don't fault his wife, but there was the whole controversy with Mike Hoffman and his girlfriend, or at least girlfriend at the time. Karlsson, of course, $11.5 million. And certainly an albatross of a contract. And yeah. I don't have anything personal against the guy at all. It's just kind of sucks that we have 5 more years of him in San Jose. All right. So cast your vote for Erik Karlsson. Interesting. Who do I think is the worst player on this list in terms of like who belongs at the very top? We haven't gotten to him just yet. But he's coming up pretty soon. I'm not talking about Sidney Crosby. You're going to buy the Stars Winter Classic or the Stadium Series for the Penguins? Okay. The 2019 Stadium Series. I like that one if you can get a couple of numbers on there. He's way too overpaid. Yeah. And I think he doesn't, I don't know how much he cares about that, honestly. Then again, probably most athletes don't. All right, 19 votes will give you 15 more seconds on Karlsson. An Anton Khudobin jersey. Interesting. Good. I mean, you'll probably have to find somebody who can customize it for you. Kane? Which Kane are you talking about? Yeah, but I mean, like Evander Kane, you got plenty of reasons to put him on this list. Yep, Dustin. It's just one bad contract too many now for the Sharks. All right, we're closing this out. Oops. Sharks and Ducks should have a Stadium Series. I think we're a ways away from getting that just because the Sharks wouldn't have good enough ratings. Kings and Ducks, I could see that being another Stadium Series, though. Oh, you found the Who Dubbin jersey on NHL Shop. There you go. All right, so Erik Karlsson is interesting. Got some mixed results here. I know we got a few Sharks fans. 30 for NA. Let's see here. A or B is at 30 as well. And C or D is at 25. And S was at 15. Okay. So that would probably put him in... I would think this would put him either in C or D, to be honest. How does he rank versus Kadri, out of curiosity? Where was Kadri? Kadri was... Ooh, interesting. So 35, 70. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put Karlsson in the C tier. Actually, wait. Yeah, I'm putting Karlsson in the C tier based on those results. All right. Next up is Mark Scheifele's next. And if you got a Joe Pavelski jersey, I would give you a very loud round of applause. All right. All right, so next up is going to be Mark Scheifele. So I included him on this list because of that hit, that terrible, ill-advised hit that he threw on Jake Evans. Not this past playoffs, but the season before. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but there have been, I think, rumors about the Jets locker room being not particularly welcoming for all players, which that can mean a variety of things, but anyway. So a lot of you out there might not think that Scheifele belongs anywhere on this list. Perfectly fine. Or some of you might think, God, that guy is a great player, but sometimes he just is over the line. So you sound off here. He threw Ferravari to the boards and sucker punched Nick Dowd. I mean, that doesn't sound particularly sportsmanlike. Oh yeah, the Mark Mathot finger. That's right. I forgot about that. Crosby's next. It's going to be fun. All right. You like most of these players? And that's fine too. And there are players on here who I like how they play, except, at times, very rarely, they'll do something that's abhorrent, at least to the casual fan. But then again, I'm not on the ice with these guys. You're saying that he's a locker room cancer? Yeah, I think that there's something to that. I haven't read up enough though. Oh, right on. Congrats on the Hurdle jersey. Yeah, I was concerned that he would have been traded, but I mean, I love Hurdle, but yeah, I think that for our future we should have traded him and given him a chance to win somewhere. All right. Oh, really? Those Pens warm-up jerseys? I don't recall those. I'd have to take a look at some photos or something. All right, let's close out Scheifele in about 10 seconds, guys. Cast your votes. Excuse me. He's not the only one in the Jets locker room. I've got one other guy on this list as well. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. I'm actually surprised to see Scheifele get this much, get this high in the rankings. So, 38 or 33, 38, 38. What was that? 11, 16? Okay. So, he's going to go somewhere in A or B, I think. How does he compare against Perron? He is hated more than Perron, actually. So, does he go in A tier? How does he stack up against Binnington? He is more hated than Jordan Binnington. What about Jacob Trouba? He is just about the same as Jacob Trouba. And against Pat Maroon, Maroon was 37-24. Yeah. Okay. So actually, Mark Scheifele's going in the A tier, right here between these two guys. Wow. I'm a little surprised to see that. All right. Here we go. Next player is Sidney Crosby. And, you know, there was the Mark Mathot slash. Other than that, I mean, I would just have Sidney Crosby. He'd be high on my list because the golden goal. But, of course, that's not NHL. My hatred toward him has been just because he's good. But now I've kind of cooled off over the last couple of years. And one thing that really ticked me off was that he was gifted the Conn Smythe in 2016. I think he won it the next year as well. All right. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to get an interesting range of opinions here. I want all the votes, man. We're talking Sidney Crosby. Sid the Kid. But yeah, like off the ice, Sid's a really great dude. I think about like how he and a couple of his other teammates hosted the Kenyan hockey players. That was rad. And his charitable work, he's a pretty good dude, so... Yeah, I wouldn't have him like any higher than B tier for me. Like I don't even think I would put him that high. Hey John, thanks for hopping in here. All right. Yeah, Jenna, did you go to that show? I was there actually. That was one of my first concerts I ever went to. Godsmack was the opening act. I remember that. And yeah, of course that was part of their like Saint Anger tour, but they didn't play too much from that album, fortunately. The classiest player in the league. Yeah. 3-time Stanley Cup champion, of course. All right, let's close out Crosby in about 15 seconds, guys. Cast your vote if you haven't already. Wow. Yeah, this one's going to be interesting to compare. Closing this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So Crosby, the plurality, of course, is in NA, but he did get a fair amount of votes for the S tier. So we'll balance this out a little bit, guys. All right, 45 for NA. Let's take a look here. S was 27, and then 18 for C or D, and 9. Okay. So I would think Crosby's going to be somewhere in the middle. This is going to be really difficult, though, so bear with me while I figure this out, if you could be so kind. I want to put, I mean, just based off of this, I'm going to put Sid right in the freaking middle. Maybe a little bit less toward... Here, I'll put him right here next to Erik Karlsson. I think that's probably pretty fair. Let's take a look against Karlsson. Yeah, the percentages are pretty unique for Crosby. I'm going to put him at the end of the C tier. All right. Let's see here. Next up, oh God, look who's next, guys. Big Willie style. All right. Tom Wilson. Boy, gee, howdy, I wonder. All right, Tom. Oops, I almost said Ron Wilson. He was a former coach for the Sharks. You know, Ron Wilson was a good coach. Tom Wilson. All right. Man, it sucks because I used to come to that guy's defense, but I can't do it anymore. Although this last season, he had the fewest penalty minutes per 82 games of his career. And he scored 24 goals too. So he had a really good season. Some emotions. All right. Here we go, guys. All right, we got 31 people. I want everybody's vote. Like, really, really. We got to get everybody's vote for this one. He hasn't been suspended in 2 years? 2 full years already, huh? That's good. And hopefully no match penalties as well. But hey, this is the body of work, right? Recency is a big factor, but the body of work also means something. Yeah, the incident with the Rangers, I remember that one, right? All right, 18 votes. I know we're going to get more than that. Make sure, folks, if you haven't already, do smash that like button. That will help attract others like yourselves to the channel. You see the lower third up there. You can also follow me on social media. All right, we'll close out Tom Wilson in about 15 seconds, guys. All right, closing this out in... Yeah, that's true. There was... Panarin got involved. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boy, howdy. This one's interesting. Okay. 80% of you have him in the top tiers. But 20% of you actually have him in the NA. So, 61... 14, 0, and 20. I don't... As the sorting hat says in Harry Potter, but where to put you? So, we got to figure this out, guys. This one's tough. All right, how does he stack up? 75. Cory Perry had 71. So, he has to go in S tier if Cory Perry's up there. That's just me doing the math. How about Kucherov? Yeah. Yeah, to me, man, I can't deny putting Wilson in the S tier. Is he ahead of DeAngelo? I'm going to say, oof. I'm going to say no. This is tough. Actually, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to put Wilson in the S tier because that's a huge percentage. But he's not the most hated. It's still Brad Marchand. All right. Here we go, guys. How many do we have left here? 6, 7. 7 players. So we are about roughly like 3/4 of the way through this. Hope you're enjoying this, and thank you for, of course, hanging out with us so far. All right. Next up is Zack Cassian. If this guy couldn't be any more irrelevant, he's now on the Arizona Coyotes. Zack Cassian. S. Come on, brother. A or B. C or D. Or is he in the NA? Yeah, no more Kachuk and Cassian rivalry, that's for sure. All right, here we go. Cast your vote here, Twisters. Cortana. Nicely done, honey. No, Cortana's in here. We call it the gator dog, because she will tilt her head, like she'll bury her head in the pillow, and she'll go like, I don't know, kind of like an alligator for some reason. Check out those ears. What a good girl. It's kind of unusual, eh? All right. Hey, who's being such a good girl? Yeah. Thank you, Riley. She does it all herself. Okay, how are we doing with Cassian, guys? Okay. That's just weird, bro. The last guy at this list is Brendan Lemieux on the Kings. All right, let's close out. Cassian here in 10 seconds, guys. All right. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll close that out. So Cassian, not a whole lot of hate for Cassian. I don't know. He's been mostly in my team's division, so Doggo dial. Exactly. All right, so what is that? 15, 20, 40. 15, 20, 40. And what was the last one? 25. Okay, so plurality is C or D tier, and I think he's going to be, let's see, how does he compare to Kadri? Kadri was, oh god, this is a little tough. 35, okay. How does he compare to Eichel? 31, 25, 25. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's going to be like, Lucic, of course. Don't forget about him. 30, oof. Yeah, I'll put him, wait. Kadri, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. Oh, no. He's not as bad. He's like right here. With Carlson. Yeah. I don't know. He's going in the C tier. We'll put him right here. All right. Next up is Ryan Reeves. Have I ever consumed Arizona iced tea in Arizona? I don't think so. I really haven't been to Arizona in a long time. All right. Ryan Reeves is next, though, guys. Garnett Hathaway. Yeah, I thought about him, but I couldn't really find him on that many like most hated players lists. I think he's a really hard-nosed player that not too many people like straight up hate because all that focus is on Tom Wilson. Yeah, don't worry, Egg Doggo. I just kicked him out. Should McDavid be on here? I don't think that McDavid is actually that hated as much as some other stars in the NHL. Yeah, and Katie, sorry about that. I kicked out Chad. Chad was not his comments were not very Chad-like. All right, Ryan Reeves is up next. Now, Reeves is beloved by a lot of hockey fans out there, but having been a Sharks fan or being a Sharks fan, and with Reeves playing in Vegas, and even afterwards, Reeves, to me, not my most hated by any means, but damn it, guy's a freaking goon. Although he made a couple of incredibly nifty plays this year, like incredible goal setups. Anyway. All right. What do you guys think? I think we're going to get a lot of S and a lot of NA as well. Interesting. After this is going to be Pierre-Luc Dubois. Then we've got Evander Kane, Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, and Brendan Lemieux. Yeah, pretty good range of opinions so far, actually. I think Dustin Dude makes a good point. Yeah, because we're going to, we have a good amount of Sharks fans. Not everybody, but yeah. Woo, here we go. Don't forget, everybody was a Sharks fan at one point this past season, right? When we were down 2 goals against Vegas, tied it up in like the last second, and then won in the shootout. Oh man, that was our highlight of the year. Anyway, and the Timo Meier 5-goal game against the Kings too. All right, 20 votes for Reeves so far. Let's give it about 15 seconds, guys. All right, closing this out in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Okay, this is actually pretty much milquetoast altogether, right? I'm putting Reeves like right in the freaking middle. That's what I'm getting out of this. He's basically right in the middle of it all. Not that high, not that low. All right. So, what were his rankings? Did I write that down? He was, what is that? 25, 25, 30, 20. Actually, you know what? Here. He's a little bit more skewed toward here. I'll put him here. Because Kadri was what? 7, 35, 35, 21. Interesting. Okay. Doing my best here. Plus, my stomach's kind of starting to growl. And I got some delicious poke arriving in, what would that be, about 30 minutes or so? Good. Perfect timing with the stream. All right. Next up is Pierre-Luc Dubois, which I wouldn't even have him on this list if it weren't for this offseason. The guy legitimately, first of all, he went to the draft. It was in Montreal, and he's from Quebec, which is all fine and dandy. And yet some people were like, yeah, is that because he thinks he's going to be traded? Then he calls a press conference to clarify that he didn't want to trade to the Habs, even though his agent was quoted saying that one day he wants to play for the Habs. Yeah, Steven, that's an interesting one, eh? Poke is so good. It is, absolutely. C or D. Yeah. Or is he not applicable? All right. So cast your vote here for Dubois. I know we don't have as many people here, so we won't. We'll close the poll after about 15 votes or so. Stream longer after the tier list? Nah, I gotta have poke. But like I said, we'll do another stream next week. And again, I'm gonna plug this right now. If you guys want even more streams and more videos, then see the video description down below. I have a survey regarding our upcoming channel memberships. So if you're interested in more content in addition to what I put out on my channel, make your voice heard. You could even get more Cortana if you become a member. Good girl. I know you want stuff, okay? Just give me a few more minutes, girl. Then you become the center of attention just like you are 23 hours of the day. Okay? All right. Catch you later, Jensen. You're such a good girl, isn't she? What is poke? Poke is, it's, I think, Hawaiian derived. But basically it's like fresh ahi tuna and rice and like cucumbers and seaweed and sauce, obviously. And it's super, super delicious. And it's quite healthy, too. All right, cool. Let's we're down to 20 people here, so I'll get this moving, all right? So let's close this out in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yeah, Dubois is basically smack dab between these other tiers. And yeah, you guys even have him at NA. So I'm going to put Dubois I'm gonna put him down in the D tier. Seems like he's not getting that much hate. Okay, so we'll do that. All right, and it's served in a bowl. And sometimes you can get poke in a burrito. All right, here we go. Or like wrapped up in seaweed. It's quite good. I'm gonna put Dubois right about here. He's pretty tame here. A Hawaiian NHL team. That'd be rad, dude. But with the humidity, I think that the ice conditions could be pretty crappy. But then again, Tampa finds a way to make it work, right? All right, so let's see here. What was the percentages on that? 36, 31, and 26 and 5. Okay. All right, Evander Kane is up next, guys. All right. Oh man, I know some people have to bounce out. I understand. Shoot. Wish we had you along for the rest of the ride, but so many of you have tuned in for pretty much the whole stream. So, Rails, how we doing? How we doing, dude? All right. Let's see here. I mean, we can't not finish this out. Yeah, yes, Tampa is not an island. Evander Kane. All right. S. A or B, C or D, and, of course, N, A. All right. Evander Kane. This guy just cannot stay away from drama. That's probably the easiest way to articulate that. Although, I mean, he's been really good with the Oilers so far. But then again, that's how he was when he came to the Sharks. All right. I proceed to spam S++++. Holy Mackinac. All right. What do we got here? Wow. Damn, guys. I know it's only 11 votes so far. But cast your vote if you haven't already, guys. Yeah, and he'll need some money too, right? You enjoyed his performance in the past year? Yeah, I mean, like he kept it together, right, when he came to the Oilers. But I've seen it before too as a Sharks fan, right? He had a great impact with the team at first, and then and even in the 2020-21 season, he was their best player. He was really good. It's just that there's some stuff off the ice. Anyway, we'll conclude this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, an expiration date, exactly. Yeah, you gotta respect him for the sole fact that he was at one point in his career an Atlanta Thrasher. If Kane isn't more hated than Marshawn, and I don't think he is, I know that we have fewer votes, so that is a factor. He got 66% for S tier, and then 26% for C or D. So Marshawn was at, let me read this out, 61-25. That's 61 top tier, 25 A or B. Evander Kane was 66 for top tier, but only 6% for the A or B tier, so he's not as high. Now for Tom Wilson, is Evander Kane more hated than Tom Wilson? Actually, no, he's not. He's not. But is he more hated than Cory Perry? Yes. I will count Evander Kane as S tier, despite that. So he's going to go right up here next to, yeah, there he is, Evander Kane. All right. He played for the Thrashers, Jets, Sabres, Sharks, and now the Oilers. All right, so we got 3 more. First of all, we've got Poppy, Austin Matthews. And, you know, I mean, I have nothing against Matthews. Some people might point to, of course, him, like, mooning a woman. Like, I think that's what it was. Or wasn't it a female police officer or something? So some people will say, yeah, this guy didn't grow up soon enough. You know, kind of like mocked Patrick Kane in a game, which actually I like that. I think that's good for the game. Austin Matthews, and yeah, he's the center of attention, right? Yeah, but personally, I think that he's harmless. But yeah, A or B, C or D, and yeah, of course, the star player for the Leafs, if it's Matthews or somebody else, is gonna get, he's gonna get hated on because the Leafs might have the biggest fan base, but they also probably have the most haters among NHL fans as well. Who is on the right in S tier? That is Cory Perry. How could it not be? Where do you put Austin Matthews? And then we have Matthew Tkachuk, and finishing things off, we have Brendan Lemieux. Has Austin Matthews won the Lady Byng? I can't remember. He's gotten some votes, I want to say. I'm gonna quickly peek at that while you guys are voting here. Matthews. Austin Matthews. Has he won the Lady Byng? Yeah, he's been a finalist for the Lady Byng twice, actually. Yeah, he's been in the top 10 every year. So, there you go. All right. Got 24 folks here. We got 17 votes. Let's give you about 15 seconds for Matthews, and then we'll conclude with Tkachuk and Lemieux. He was on the cover of NHL 20. Actually, he was also on the cover of what? NHL 17, right? All right, we'll close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And yeah, Austin Matthews, I'm not surprised. Half of you have voted him to be at the very bottom. How does he compare to Doughty? Let's take a look at that. Yeah, Matthews is definitely less hated. Ovechkin, 50-23. Interesting. Yeah, I'll put Austin Matthews basically right about here. I mean, like he's basically at the bottom. I can't do these percentages anymore. It's difficult. Oh, okay, 20 and 21. Oh, so wait, he was back-to-back years? NHL game cover ranking stream? Actually, Mike, you know what, man? That would be great. I don't know if I'll do that as a membership stream or something like that, but that's a really good one, man. I'm sure a lot of people would want to watch that. But the thing is, do you rate the cover athlete or the actual artwork? Or do you just kind of do both? Because we all know the best NHL video game cover of all time is NHL 2K6. No, wait. 2K7. That's the one. Followed by NHL 2001. All right. Next up. NHL 21 was Ovechkin. Yeah, see, I don't even play the games anymore. I don't shell. I don't shell, bro. Matt Tkachuk. This guy. S, A, or B. He cross-checked Dahlin in the neck. Oh, yeah. Good point, Raymond. Good point. I remember that. That was the Heritage Classic, right? All right. Tkachuk's up. Yeah, see, I forget all these cover athletes now. He is a beast. Yeah, I mean, he's still a tremendous player. He gets away with some ish. Yeah, it seems like there are more players in the NHL these days who like to chew on their mouth guards. Kachuk's a C or D tier. Interesting. Yeah, Landon, I think that's a fair assessment. Very succinct assessment at that, too. Yeah, you know, every player in the NHL does a little bit of dirty stuff, and sometimes that actually helps. All right, Kachuk, we're going to close him out in about 10 seconds, guys. So cast your vote if you haven't already. Chippy at times. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to put him. Probably C tier. I'll probably put him at the front of the C tier because he is getting some votes. Actually, you know what? How does he compare against Kadri? 7, 35, 35, 21. 35. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to put him at the end of the B tier. Who's a good girl, Cortana? All right. Hello. Hello, sweet potato. All right. Kachuk's going to go to the B tier. At the very, very end of the B tier, though. I think that's pretty fair, given these percentages. To be fair. Look at that, guys. Look at this. We're almost perfect. How about that? Lemieux's A or B? All right, Jacob, I'll definitely count your vote. It's happening in 30 seconds, though. Brendan Lemieux. I'm being generous with B. I'm a generous person. Aren't I, Cortana? You know I'm a generous person. All right, here we go. S tier, A or B, C or D. Come on. Come on. All right, here we go. Brendan Lemieux, our final player for this evening. What do you think? Vote in the poll here. And as you're doing that, guys, hey, this has been fun. I hope you've enjoyed yourself hanging out with me and Cortana here. Please do leave a thumbs up if you haven't already. Follow me on social media, Instagram and Twitter. And also, guys, if you're interested in member-exclusive streams, I'm trying to gauge interest in a possible channel membership. So see the video description down below. I have a survey where you can indicate some feedback. It's not a sign-up. And then that way, I'll know what I should include in my channel memberships going forward. Does Cortana bark? Hardly. Hardly. Only when somebody rings the doorbell. Otherwise, with just me, she's very quiet. Who's a good girl? Yeah. But sometimes when we're playing fetch, she'll be like, throw it already. So she can be vocal in that sense. You're welcome, Riley. You're welcome. The biting makes him S tier. Well, so far that's the plurality. V tier for vampire. Nice. Here's a good girl. All right. Let's see here. Can we get close to okay. Let's give it about 15 seconds, guys. Don't worry, girl. I'll give you a nice treat when we're all done, okay? Because you've been such a good girl, okay? Just give me a minute. All right. Looks like we're a little bit quiet here, but I understand. We got ish to do. Brendan Lemieux is not quite at the level that Cory Perry's at. They're pretty similar. Jesus. I'm going to say, or Kucharov. Yeah, he's rated worse than Kucherov. This is interesting. I might, you know what? We're putting him in the S tier. This is S tier. He is rated worse than Cory Perry. So there you go, guys. Our S tier at the end of this stream. Brad Marchand leading the way, but we've also got Tony DeAngelo, Tom Wilson, Evander Kane, Brendan Lemieux, and Cory Perry. And the guys who got off scot-free tonight, we got ourselves Drew Doughty, Austin Matthews, Alex Ovechkin. He did get some criticism, though. John Tavares, and Phil the Thrill Kessel. So anyway, guys, hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me this evening, and hope you can join us for more streams during the off-season. We're going to do Thursdays for our live streams leading up until the start of the season. And, of course, I've got all kinds of videos planned, right? So check out my breakouts video. I talk about wingers. I do centers. I do defensemen, all in separate videos. We've got our video ready for Saturday. I've got another one in the works right now as well. And of course, if you want even more on top of that, see the video description down below and fill out my survey where I can gauge your interest in possibly becoming a channel member. But that, again, is not obligatory. It's not a sign-up sheet or anything like that. But I want to have your input because I want my content to kick as much ass for you as possible. So thank you once again, everybody, for hanging out with us this evening. And I will catch you again real soon. Good night.